Grace and peace and spoiler alert for the movie Mission Impossible Fallout, MI-6. My name's Ryan. I'm the movie pastor. What I do is I watch movies and I think theologically about them. Thinking theologically can be done in lots of different ways. It kind of depends on the movie, but for Mission Impossible Fallout, it's kind of a pretty traditional one. Check it out. So, Fallout is all about fallout. It's about the consequences for doing the right thing. At the start of the movie, Ethan is assigned his mission, if he chooses to accept it, the opportunity to stop 3 plutonium cores from getting out. But the way the mission goes down, he ends up with a choice, either to save the life of his friend Luther, who has been with him since the very first movie, or to save the cores, keep the cores from getting loose. And, spoilery, he saves Luther. So then the cores get loose, and the next thing we see is 3 holy cities of the world getting destroyed. So what is the consequence for doing the right thing? Well, if you're Ethan Hunt, the consequence is you have to do more stunts and try to prevent those consequences of doing the right thing from negatively impacting the world. And indeed, the destruction of the holy cities was a hoax, and we proceed into more consequences for doing the right thing. We see him in trouble with the CIA director because he's such a rogue nation, and he's going to have to take a new sidekick with him, watchdog CIA agent Superman with the beard, who, of course, stabs him in the back. Don't trust anybody with a mustache. So again, we've got a consequence for following orders and doing the right thing. And then we're in a position where he's got to meet John Lark and infiltrate and try to put on his mask. And by becoming John Lark and talking to the people who have the plutonium cores and doing this infiltration that's going to save the world, he comes to find he's in a position where he's going to have to do a heist to kill some cops and even set free the bad guy from the previous movie. So again, consequences. He's trying to do the right thing. Well, the bad guy from the previous movie is out to get him because of the right things he did in the previous movie. And that's where you get that line from the previews. Did you ever choose not to? Right? How many times can you accept a mission to save the world before it comes at a cost, before it has some fallout? Well, at the conclusion of the movie, Ethan is still pulling together all of the loose ends from all of the different right choices he has ever made, and he runs into his ex-wife. His ex-wife, who he loved, but who he left behind because he always felt that if he stayed with her, he would not be there to save the world when the world needed saving. And Ethan is the only person who's ever able to do these ridiculously extreme stunts and save the world the way he is. And so for everyone else to live safe and happy lives, including his wife whom he loves, he can't be with her. What great personal sacrifice does it require? And in the end, nothing comes of it. Ethan is able to, despite having a really bad day, stop the detonation of a third of the world's population's water supply at the last second and save the day forever. So what does it mean when we begin to meditate on the great personal and practical consequences of making a decision that is moral? Well, I shouldn't need you. You shouldn't need me to untangle this much. I mean, this is, of course, reminiscent of a good man who came and wanted nothing but to teach truth and to help people live better lives, but who, by doing so, started disrupting the social order and found himself on the wrong end of the law, such that he was sentenced to die. I'm speaking, of course, about Socrates. Yes, in many situations, like Jesus, like Socrates, doing what is right isn't rewarded. That's not the way the world works. It's not that whatever you put in terms of virtue, you reap in terms of reward. In fact, it's very often the opposite. If you live your life greedily, trying to accumulate as many toys as you can, you are very likely to succeed at that goal and accumulate lots of toys. Whereas if you live your life selflessly, self-sacrificially, for the good of others, you are likely to accumulate very few toys and probably no small amount of persecution, suffering. People who are not appreciative of the fact that you are working to stop their oppression of others, who will choose to direct their attentions and considerable resources against you. That's what happened to Jesus, and it's what Jesus warned would happen to his followers. And so, what fallout are you prepared for the good things you'll do in your life? And what stunts are you ready to engage in to clean up some of that fallout and dust yourself off and be ready to try again? I think that's the question that is asked of us by Mission Impossible Fallout. This has been Movie Pastor. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll watch some of these other videos I've made.
And when in scenes of glory I sing